Hi, I'm Tony. Welcome to Sports Bike Shop's review of the Shark Aeron helmet. Last year, Shark gave us their Aeron GP racing lid, which has an extreme spoiler to aid high-speed stability. The spoiler had pivoting sections that reduce drag when you turn your head to one side. Now, there's another way to reduce drag from the spoiler when your head's turned to one side. You could have a smaller spoiler, and that's where this lid comes in. If you cut down the spoiler on the Aeron GP, knock about 250 quid off the price, then you get this, the Shark Aeron. If you're the sort of person who does 200 miles an hour, or if you want to look like someone who does 200 miles an hour, then the Aeron GP is the lid for you. Otherwise, this one is better for you. The shell is made from the same Cova material that's used in the Aeron GP's shell. It stands for carbon on view and aramid, so carbon fibre layers on the outside do the decorative work, while aramid fibres provide the under armour. It is very attractive in appearance, and the shell construction contributes to a very low weight. This size medium Aeron registers just 1,365 grams on our scales, and that's the second lightest ECE 2206 approved full face helmet that we've weighed. In terms of aero, I've found it cuts neatly through the air when I've been riding a variety of bikes, including nakeds and half-faired bikes. Now, we can't expect racy lids like this to be the quietest things around, as there are other priorities that are further up the designer's list when they're designing lids, but I found this one to be pretty good on the bikes I've ridden. Something to point out on noise that I always say, sound levels depend mostly on factors other than the lid itself, so you could have a completely different experience to mine. Okay, ventilation points. You get those at the chin, the forehead and up top. The rocking chin vent switch directs air to the inner surface of the visor, and it did that pretty well for me, freshening things up on the inside. It's not the whooshing flow you get from some helmets from that chin vent, but it is pretty good. The vent with the most obvious performance benefit is the two-slot opening just here above the visor. It is a bit fiddly to slide open, especially if you're wearing gloves, but it directs a nice jet of air through to the forehead. The scooped vents that sit either side of the centre line are less dramatic in their effect. These bring in air that flows over your head and then out through outlets in the spoiler. Overall, I'd say ventilation isn't crazy, but it is quite good. Right, the visor. This is a tried and tested design that goes back years, and it works. It's simplicity itself and is really designed in a perfect world to be either fully open or fully closed. There are no detent stops for the visor on its way down, but if you set the visor up correctly, you should be able to have it in whatever level of opening you want. It just smoothly runs from open to closed, and you can leave it at any point. If there's not enough resistance to keep it open, then you get a small Allen key and tension this screw in the middle of this retainer a bit more. That'll increase the friction that stops the visor from just slipping shut. As the visor finishes its travel, the tab on the left side clicks over a pin on the shell to lock it down. Then it's easy enough to unlock it again. It doesn't take much to pull it clear of the pin, and that lets you raise the visor again. There's no pin lock insert included with the helmet, and there are no pins for one either. The visor has an anti-fog coating instead. That worked well in my time with this helmet, but I have only worn it in fine weather and also on the odd chilly morning, and the coating coped well with those conditions. Personally, I think pin locks come into their own on grotty days, and I don't think this helmet is really designed as a year-round all-weather lid. If you want all-weather riding, you can get a pin lock-ready visor for this helmet, and obviously a pin lock insert that will fit that visor, but personally I think this isn't the helmet for someone who demands day-to-day practicality in all weathers. Someone like that will be better off with a helmet that's got pin lock protection and also comes with a sun visor, which you don't get with this lid. But if you can do away with the pin lock, I always find it more pleasant to ride without one because you don't have to look through that extra layer. There are also tear-off posts on the visor for racers or for roadies who really hate cleaning bugs off their visor. And the Aeron is a new model for 2025, and as we record this, all colour schemes are supplied with an additional race visor in the box. The colour of that extra visor is chosen to complement the paint scheme. So black lids get a black visor and others get a colour-matched Iridium one like this. The additional visors aren't legal for the road, so if you do things by the book, you will need to save these for the track. But in practice, few riders ever have legal trouble as long as they're sensible about the light conditions when they wear it. I would say that advice is even more relevant with Shark, as the visors are quite thick, and I find it means the tint level feels even stronger. I wanted to keep the Iridium visor on this helmet for bright sunny days, as it would be too dark in lower light. Overall, I found peripheral vision from the visor to be good, which is important when you're possibly going to be tucked in behind a screen. Okay, so there's no internal sun visor to cover. Let's get into the interior instead. It's a snug fitting liner, as it should be on a helmet that's designed for use at speed. You don't want the chin bar pushing back into your face when you're well into triple figure speeds on track, so this is close fitting for the right reasons. The padding is covered by Shark's Alveotech fabric, and I found the lining material to be very pleasant to wear. There's also plenty of room inside for my spectacles. The strap fastens with double D-rings, no surprise there, but there's something unusual in these protectors that stop the strap from rubbing on your skin. There are magnets that hold the two parts together, so you then fasten the strap over the top of that. There are recesses for speakers, and I guess now is a good time to talk about comms compatibility. There are a choice of 2 officially approved intercoms for this lid. The Sena for Shark Bluetooth intercom is £170 as we record this, and it's £200 for a higher tech Sena for Shark mesh version. The battery tucks into a port by the neck, and then a slim control module attaches to the side of the shell. The letters SA after the Aeron's safety designation show the helmet's been tested with those specific accessories attached. Fitting anything else conflicts with the helmet's safety approval, so if you're a by-the-book kind of rider, then you'll need one of those Sena for Shark units. If you're happy to go against the grain, then I see no reason why an off-the-shelf intercom wouldn't fit this helmet. The speaker recesses on the inside are big enough for 40mm speakers. You can also put the 45mm speakers in there. They do sit a bit proud, but they'll be okay. And there's a reasonable amount of space on the shell for the comms module itself. Okay, let's go on to sizes, approvals and pricing. The Aeron comes in sizes from extra small to double extra large, and there are 2 shell sizes. The smallest shell covers lids up to and including medium, and then helmet sizes large and above go in the bigger shell. There are 4 different EPS impact liners. That means smaller sizes within each shell aren't just padded out with thicker foam liners. You get a thicker EPS to bring the helmet down to your size. For sizing comparison, I wore the same size as I do in virtually everything, a medium. My head measures 59 centimeters around, so size charts would say I should wear a large. That just goes to show that your head measurement is only a part of the story. As for shape, my head is as broad as it is long, so head shape obsessives would call it round. I'm not a head shape obsessive, and I'd say you won't know whether this lid suits your head until you try one on. Approvals, the Aeron meets ECE 2206 for the road, and it's ACU Gold approved for use on the track. It's not FIM approved, so if you're racing in international events, you'll need to upgrade to the Aeron GP FIM to get the relevant safety approval. There's no sharp rating yet. If one of those gets published, then we'll add it to the description below. Pricing, the starting list price as we record this is $679.99. That gets you a plain matte black Aeron with no carbon fibre on show. An extra 20 quid gets you plain designs with visible carbon, and then it's $759.99 for graphics like this one. The range topping option at the minute for the Aeron is a Zarco Rep, which comes in at $779.99, including racer tax. Okay, time to sum up. This helmet is light, I found it comfy, and the noise didn't irritate me when I was riding for up to an hour and a half at a time. There's a simplicity about doing away with things like sun visors and pinlock inserts that is very appealing, and I found it really enjoyable when wearing this lid. It was really refreshing. The practicality of a pinlock and the versatility of a retractable sun visor are important when riding in varying conditions and over distance, but I found a lot of joy in sticking on the Iridium visor and wearing this on days where I knew I didn't need to worry about visor misting or poor light. If I could only ride when the sun is shining and there's not a dark cloud in sight, or if I could have different lids for different days, then this Shark Aeron would be exactly my sort of helmet. I hope that tells you everything you wanted to know about the Shark Aeron, but if there is anything you'd like to ask or to add, then please pop a comment below. Thanks for watching.